A very good evening to you. My name is Marissa Marinda and you are watching Newsplus. Let's get straight into tonight's headlines. Zimbabwe intensifies efforts to attract sustainable energy investment on the sidelines of the World Government's Summit in Dubai. That story and more coming up in Newsplus. Government implores universities to turn innovations into commercial value chains. Lawyers representing jailed businessmen Moses Mpofu and Mike Chimombe set to approach the Supreme Court with a fresh freedom bid. And coming up in sport, the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee welcomes the move to offer sports administration courses locally as a strategic investment in the long-term development of the nation's sports sector. Now for the news in greater detail. Mazda Abu Dhabi, a United Arab Emirates renewable energy company, has expressed strong interest in partnering with Zimbabwe to accelerate the country's energy transition. The company's executives paid a courtesy call on President Emmerson Mnangagwa on the sidelines of the ongoing World Government's Summit in Dubai as Zimbabwe intensifies efforts to attract sustainable energy investment. More in the following report.
The president met a high-level delegation from Masdar, a United Arab Emirates-based renewable energy giant, where discussions centered on expanding clean energy partnerships in Zimbabwe, particularly in solar power and climate-resilient energy solutions. The engagement comes as Zimbabwe accelerates its transition towards sustainable power generation to support economic growth, industrialization, and energy security.
It's an honor to meet His Excellency the President here in Dubai during the government summit that is hosted in the United Arab Emirates. You know, Masdar is a global leader in renewable energy, and through our platform Infinity Power, we are one of the major players in renewable energy across Africa.
Masdar said Zimbabwe's commitment to sustainability and its evolving policy environment make the country an attractive destination for renewable energy investment.
His Excellency the President welcomed us and explained the importance of investing in your great country, Zimbabwe. And Masdar and its subsidiary Infinity Power is working closely with the government of Zimbabwe to invest a large-scale renewable energy in the country with the support of the government, of course.
The renewable energy engagement formed part of broader high-level meetings on the sidelines of the World Government Summit, which has drawn global leaders, policymakers, and business executives to Dubai under the theme Shaping Future Governments. Zimbabwe is also actively contributing to discussions on investment, technology, and sustainable development at the summit. Speaking after the official opening, Finance, Economic Development, and Investment Promotion Minister Professor Mthuli said discussions on energy, critical minerals, artificial intelligence, and global peace resonate strongly with Zimbabwe's economic priorities and development planning.
Zimbabwe's relations with Global South are strengthening from day to day with the UAE, with India, with China, with Indonesia, with Malaysia. We're building strong relations everywhere, especially with countries that are much closer to us in terms of level of development.
The summit has attracted over 6,000 delegates, including 45 heads of states and more than 700 chief executives of leading global companies, making it the largest edition in the world's government summit history. Zimbabwe's participation underscores the country's renewed international engagement, investment promotion drive, and commitment to sustainable development under the Second Republic. The World's Government Summit concludes on Thursday.
Government, through the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, has implored universities to move from innovation hubs to industrialization and commercialization of students toward specific value chains in production lines. Speaking at a meeting where he met vice-chancellors of universities in the country, Higher and Tertiary Education Minister Ambassador Frederick Shaba said it is now the time for students to make an impact in communities. Under the National Development Strategy 1, Zimbabwe embarked on a radical departure from the colonial job-seeking curriculum towards a production-oriented, heritage-based model.
To say whatever you've innovated in the hubs, let it go into the production lines in our industrial areas, and let those products be accessed by the common person in the street. And this is why we are talking together in preparation for the year.
Moving on, jailed businessmen Moses Mpofu and Mike Chimombe are set to approach the Supreme Court, challenging the High Court's dismissal of their application, seeking leave to appeal as the duo continues to make efforts to secure freedom. The pair was convicted of defrauding the government of over $7 million in the presidential Goat Pass On scheme and sentenced to 12 years and 15 years respectively. Lawyer Professor Lovemore Maduku says they are confident of a successful appeal.
The position of the law is that the first opportunity to look at whether or not leave must be granted is given to the High Court itself. The High Court would have tried the matter, and then it is in a better position perhaps to appreciate what could happen, and so it is given the first chance, but it is not the first and final chance. So in this case, we respect the fact that the High Court thinks that our clients have no prospects of success. That's the view of the High Court. We respect the view, but we do not agree with it, with respect. So we will approach a judge of the Supreme Court. It will be done in a few days, and I think that in a few days as well, the Supreme Court is operating in a very efficient manner. Sure, by next week or so, we will be having a decision of the Supreme Court. If the Supreme Court says yes, then we will appeal to the Supreme Court.
Farmers from various parts of the country have raised concern over persistent shortages of dip tank chemicals, saying the situation is making it difficult to protect their livestock. They say the lack of chemicals is disrupting regular dipping programs and increasing the risk of tick-borne diseases.
Farmers say the shortage of dip chemicals poses a serious threat to their livestock, especially during the summer season, which provides a conducive environment for tick breeding. During this period, farmers are asked to inspect their livestock daily and dip their cattle at least once a week, depending on the level of tick infestation. Zimbabwe Farmers Union Director Paul Zakaria said livestock are under siege from tick-borne diseases, and farmers must maintain regular dipping to reduce losses.
The ticks will continue to multiply during this time of the year. So we have encouraged our farmers to dip their animals, and they have been encouraged also by the vet department to increase the dipping frequencies so that at least an animal is dipped once every week. This will go a long way in addressing this issue.
Zakaria added that a number of animals, especially in rural areas, are dying as dipping programs have slowed down due to shortage of chemicals. He called on government to urgently address the situation, citing January disease as one of the leading causes of livestock mortality.
The dipping chemicals need to be acquired, sourced, procured, and distributed timelessly so that our farmers do not lose their animals to a disease that can actually be controlled. So we really call on all players, our vet, chemical.
Government is aware of the situation, with Chief Director in the Department of Veterinary Services, Dr. Pius Makaya, saying a plan is in place to improve the availability of dip chemicals. He also urged farmers to make use of available vaccines to help protect and preserve the national herd.
Government is going to make sure that animals dip, and we are in the process of paying those areas, and our suppliers will start supplying the dipping chemicals soon. So don't panic. But in the meantime, you can't let your animals die. You have to find some ways of buying your chemicals.
As the situation remains a concern for farmers, authorities are promising to restore consistent dipping programs and avoid further losses. For ZTN Prime, I am Mashudu Mambo in Harare.
Stay with us for more stories right here on ZTN Prime.
This Valentine's month, share the ultimate gift of life. Donate blood and make a profound difference. Visit us in Harare at 53 Mazoe Street, Bograthia, or Joiner City 2nd floor, at the Gweri Showgrounds, or in Mashingo at Haley's and Emsley Close, or at the main post office in Bulawayo, and at our Mutare branch. Give love, give life. Donate blood this February. Donors to receive special surprise tokens of appreciation.
Good evening and welcome to the greatest show on earth. This is a people's game. They will be bubbling about this one for weeks and months to come. Let's go!
Wherever you are, whatever your reason, it's on SuperSport all season long. Reconnect and stay connected to DSTV Compact and get the best football on us.
Acting President Kembo Mohadi this afternoon handed over 3 buses to Highlanders Football Club, Landa John Nkomo High School and Dudley Hall Primary School. The buses were donated by businessman and philanthropist Wicknell Chivayo. Tafara Sibochiwe attended the ceremony and filed the following report.
The acting president said the donation will enhance sports development, education while empowering communities.
These buses, we are here to witness the handover. Representing the major transportation. They symbolize our collective commitment to fostering the development of sport and education in our community.
The donation comes at a time when Highlanders Football Club is celebrating 100 years of existence.
Jubilant scenes obtaining a granite side where the Highlanders supporters are over the moon. They are elated. They have received this bus donated courtesy of philanthropist and business person Wicknell Chivayo. They are so happy. This exemplifies public-private partnerships.
John Landa Nkomo High School also received a bus which acting President Mohadi said will have an impact beyond transport.
Landa John Nkomo High School and Dudley Primary School serve as pillars of educational and development in our society. With these buses, we are not just facilitating transport. We are creating opportunities for our students to participate in extracurricular activities.
Dudley Hall Primary School, which is Chivayo's former school, also received a bus. Highlanders Football Club and Landa John Nkomo High School benefit in honor of his late uncle, the former Vice President of Zimbabwe, John Landa Nkomo.
I had the privilege of receiving my primary education from grade 1 to grade 7 at Dudley Hall School. Honorable Acting President, the late Vice President, was also passionate about football and was a devout supporter of Highlanders Football Club in particular. He believed deeply in the power of sports to unite communities and to provide opportunity for talented young people.
The ceremony host, Faramasi Motors, had kind words for Chivayo as he has significantly boosted Faramasi Motors on the business front.
In the last year, he spent in the ballpark of between 10 and 15 million. I can confirm so far this year with Faramasi, he spent well over $4 million, of which we are grateful as a business. We wish him the best.
These donations by businessperson and philanthropist Wignell Chivayo signifies the importance of sports development, education and community empowerment. As these buses take off, the hope is that they will drive the football club and the two schools to their desired dreams. Tafaras Bochiwe for ZTN Prime in Granite Side, Harare.
In Mondorongezi, one young entrepreneur is turning communal land into a culinary landmark and trending online for all the right reasons. Known as Kwateri, the young entrepreneur has changed the narrative on rural life. Our correspondent Theseus Shambare reports.
Here he is, Terence Terry Maposa, fighting his lunch alone. His flagship dish, Mugwazwangu, is taking over social media. And this time, it was an unexpected tester, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture. While Terry's meal videos trend online, today it was Professor Obetijiri taking a bite of this mouthful relish and loving it.
I have to say, as a producer, for value addition, what I need is to put a restaurant so that people, they can come and eat.
Who would have imagined this? Here in rural village 6 of Mondorongezi, Kwateri is more than a restaurant. It is a hub where farming, traditional food and youth entrepreneurship meet. But was this Terry's dream?
So, with political science, to be honest, I'm so guided with what am I going to do after attaining the degree.
He has created employment for young people in the area, changing how they view rural life.
Tinowana pekutengesera ukaitawo chaunenge wawana chaunenge warima kana chifuwo chaunenge wachengeta sehuku.
Beyond the kitchen, the area is now home to rustic guest houses designed in a rural setup, welcoming visitors who come for the food, the culture and the experience. The permanent secretary is impressed, describing Kwateri as a rural enterprise par excellence.
This is what we see when interventions are made in the village to spur rural industrialization, which eventually leads to rural development. Jobs must be created in the village.
So, from a humble pot of sadza to trending social media videos, Kwateri shows that rural enterprise can be fun, cultural, and profitable, one Mugwazwangu at a time. Reporting for ZTN Prime in Mondorongezi, I'm Theseus Shambare.
And across borders, Morocco has deployed army rescue units to evacuate thousands of residents after severe flooding inundated parts of the country's northwest, with rising river levels forcing people to flee their homes. The army rescue units and civil protection teams moved into flooded neighborhoods in Ksar El Kabir, one of the worst affected cities, after weeks of heavy rainfall caused the Lucas River to burst its banks. Homes, streets and farmland were submerged as water levels rose rapidly across low-lying areas. Weather services in Morocco have issued orange to red rainfall alerts across parts of the northwest, warning that unstable conditions could persist. Saturated soil and already swollen rivers mean the risk of further flooding remain high even if rainfall eases. In our next story, International Olympic Committee IOC President Kirsty Coventry interacted with a Chinese development intelligent robot during her tour of the Olympic Village in Milan on Monday, highlighting innovation at the upcoming Games. She toured an exhibition hall showcasing displays from various Olympic partners before expressing particular interest in an advanced Chinese-developed robot. She engaged with the robot as part of her visit to explore innovative technologies supporting future Olympic Games. Coventry also visited the athletes' residential zone, observing the living arrangements and amenities provided to competitors. Do stay with us. When we come back, we'll give you business news.
We're kicking your year off in all her glory with more, because we got you. You get it? We got kicks, we got scores, we got action, we got roars. It's my specialty. We got drama, we got fun. We got more for everyone, with an upgrade on us just for you. More channels, more shows, more reasons to stay. We got you. DSTV, we got you all the way.
Agriculture and mining are set to anchor household incomes, liquidity and consumer demand in 2026, driving exports, foreign currency inflows and jobs. Mining contributes over 60% of export earnings and around 12 to 15% of gross domestic product. Improved rainfall is lifting crop output and rural incomes, while tobacco sales of 354 million kilograms generated about 1.2 billion United States dollars, boosting liquidity and spending. High global gold prices continue to support mining. Gold delivers close to half of export earnings, supporting over 300,000 livelihoods and strengthens foreign currency inflows into 2026. Moving on to our next business story, Varun Beverages is expanding its food and beverage footprint in Zimbabwe, deepening its presence in the fast-moving consumer goods sector. A new snacks manufacturing plant is now producing Cheetos locally, adding to the Lay's, Doritos and Simba range. The business has scaled operations since 2018 across soft drinks, bottled water and energy drinks, supported by a natural distribution fleet of nearly 400 trucks daily. The move into maize-based snacks and upcoming beer production will lift demand for local maize and barley, strengthen value chains and support jobs and rural market access. Do stay with us for sport.
Harare, tune into the beat.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, your source for news, business, sports, fashion, and more.
Experience the pulse of Harare's culture and lifestyle.
Capitalk 100.4 FM, Harare's top radio station.
Join the conversation with Zimbabwe's top personalities.
Subscribe now for fresh and infotainment content daily.
Capital 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat.
The Zimbabwe Olympic Committee has welcomed the move to offer sports administration courses locally as a strategic investment in the long-term development of the nation's sports sector. Zimbabwe Olympic Committee Chief Executive Officer Marlene Chiedza-Gadzirai believes locally trained administrators have a better position to produce homegrown solutions that are closely aligned with the challenges that are faced by the country.
I think because we've brought the program to Zimbabwe, it means that it also then becomes a contextual program. I've looked at the lecturers that will be taking up and lecturing the courses, the various courses that are on offer. They are Zimbabwean and they also understand the Zimbabwean landscape. So it makes it easier to relate to the Zimbabwean context. It makes it easier to actually address our own Zimbabwean specific challenges, particularly in sport and sport administration. I think because of the holistic nature of the program, it means that the various various target marketing, the different stakeholders that will be part of this program will not only be one-dimensional, they'll be focusing on different aspects. You're looking at your financial management, you're looking at your sport law, you're looking at marketing, you're looking at communication, all the modules within the sport ecosystem or the sport program that is being offered. It means that their contribution means it will be quite holistic in terms of the way they work with the athletes, the way they work as administrators, the way they work as national federations as well.
Zimbabwe stands to gain significantly from delivering sports administration training domestically, particularly by improving accessibility and inclusivity. As more administrators will enroll, as they are likely to face less financial and logistical barriers that previously restricted participation.
Program, academic in nature, means that we are going to increase the churning out of learned administrators or administrators that have the capacity to lead our various sporting organizations. And I think the good thing about this is that it's not, although it is under FIFA, it's under MSU, it's not just for the football stakeholders or football administrators, it's for all administrators across the sporting ecosystem. And I think we've had quite a few graduates coming out of specifically sport-centered programs, and also the issue of having the previous programs being done outside Zimbabwe, specifically in South Africa. There were also all these logistical issues. But I think this is a good thing in order to strengthen our governance and strengthening our affiliations as the Zimbabwe Olympic Committee.
Women's baseball in Zimbabwe is heading into a potentially defining year as the national team prepares for a busy schedule of local and international competitions. We get more in the following report.
The Zimbabwe senior women's baseball team is aiming for a strong 2026 after a breakthrough year that saw the country host the Africa Women's Baseball Championship for the first time. The tournament, held at Dream Park, attracted international teams and marked a major step forward for the women's game, sparking renewed momentum around its development. Baseball remains a minor sport in Zimbabwe, with women facing added challenges including limited competitive action and a reliance on combining with the men's teams. Despite these obstacles, the team remains determined to push for greater visibility and consistent growth. The women's side is preparing for a South Africa tour in the first quarter of the year, leaning on experienced leaders and a new wave of emerging talent.
We learned a lot from our games in December, so we need to make sure that when we go in April, we'll come back with a trophy, of course. And then we also have some who are coming from the under-18 teams. Oh, those ladies are talented. You can see the future of women baseball. When you see even the under-18s, you can see the fight that they put in the game, the execution of the plays. You can tell that we have a good future coming up.
Infrastructure continues to pose a major challenge, with Harare being the only province with a dedicated baseball pitch at Kali Sports Club. Teams have, however, adapted by using school grounds and football fields while pushing for improved facilities.
For women's baseball, I believe we need more as something that is in the process of growing. I do like stadiums. There's a stadium here, there's a stadium there. This is our wish for baseball. Ntare to have, Bulawayo to have, so that even when times come where we must do national campings.
With stronger collaboration and a clear development program in place, women's baseball is hoping to build on last year's gains and raise its profile as the 2026 season unfolds.
And with that, we've come to the end of our bulletin this evening. Do stay tuned as we always bring you the bulletin from 7 p.m. right here on ZTN Prime. My name is Marissa Marinda, and we will leave you watching the weather forecast.